You might not know this, but Dubai does have an income tax, and it's something that people don't really talk about. So in today's video, we're going to be going over Dubai's income tax and exactly what you need to know because it's quite straightforward. And to give you some background, a lot of people from around the world travel to the UAE and move to Dubai to benefit from the taxation here, which is quite low. So to quickly give you your answer, yes, there is a tax in Dubai, there's a tax in the UAE, but the income tax is zero. There is one, but it's zero. However, this is what you need to know if you want to actually benefit from this tax, because simply having a company here, simply being here a part of the year is not enough. There are some things that you have to fulfill. Number one, you have to ensure that you are not a resident in a country that does have a tax. So if you want to pay 0% tax, you have to ensure that you are not a taxable resident in a country where there is a tax. Just being a resident on its own may not be enough, but if you are a taxable resident, that's when you can get caught paying a tax. So let's say you spend more than 6 months in Canada or more than 6 months in the UK or whatever the case may be, then in that case, yes, you could pay 0% tax in Dubai, but you'll be paying that tax in the country where you are a taxable resident as well. So if you want to benefit from the 0% income tax in Dubai, then ensure to not be a taxable resident in any other country that does have a tax. If you want to learn how to become a non-resident in your home country, then please click on our channel because we have many videos going over some of the top countries. And now that you know exactly what you need to do to be a non-resident, the next thing that you need to go ahead and do is become not only a resident in the UAE, but become a tax resident as well. So your residency process is quite simple. We'll open your company for you. We will hire you under your own company, which you own 100% of. And then after that, we do the residency process, which has to be done in person. So opening the company and hiring you under the company, you can do that from abroad. But if you want to actually get your residency, you have to fly in and we have to do a medical and biometrics, which takes 1 day. After that, we'll get your residency 2-3 days later, and we'll have your physical ID card delivered to you wherever you are. So that whole process in the UAE takes about 1 week, and then from there you can start your process to become a taxable resident here, which is quite straightforward. Now you might hear a lot of stuff floating around online of people saying, oh, you just have to come 1 day every 6 months, oh, you just have to do this, you just have to do that. The reality is, if you want to be a taxable resident here and not just a resident, you have to be in Dubai for at least 3 months of the year. This 3 months will give you domestic tax residency, and if you stay for 6 months, you get international tax residency. These are two different documents, but to easily break it down for you, domestic is to prove that you're a tax resident in the UAE, and the international one of you staying 6 months in Dubai is to prove it on an international scale if you ever have to prove it to another country. So let's say you spent a lot of time in another country, then this international certificate would be better use to actually prove that you are only a taxable resident in the UAE. However, things could be, different case by case basis. This may not be sufficient if you spend too much time or you had too many ties in one other country. So now that you have this in mind, I just want to clear up a few commonly asked questions that a lot of people do ask us here at GenZone. They ask us, Kevin, what if I set up a company in Dubai and just send all of my money there and send all the profits there and stay in my home country? Is that company going to be taxed at 0% or at 9%, which is the new corporate tax on net income above 102,000 US dollars? People are going to ask, is it going to be taxed as a local company? And the answer is no. If you are not actually living here in Dubai and you are the shareholder of the company, then this Dubai company is going to be taxed as, the company from where you live, as a company from where you live. So let's say you live in Canada and your company is getting all these revenues, then you're going to have to pay tax as a Canadian company and not as a Dubai company. So that's a really important thing to know, because simply having a company here is not enough. If you're operating it from another country, it really matters on where you are a tax resident and a resident. And that will apply to your company as well, because you are the owner of that company. And I hope that's pretty common sense, because if not, everybody would have a company in another country where there's no tax and just stay in their home country, which, doesn't really make sense. But, some people do ask the question, so it's a fair question to ask. But I will say that the tax residency in Dubai is pretty straightforward. It used to be 6 months minimum stay. Now it's 3 months minimum stay. So it's a lot better. They've cut it down in half. So they've made it a lot easier for people to, maintain the residency and have tax residency in the UAE. So again, yes, Dubai does have a personal income tax, but it is 0. And now in 2024, there's going to be a new corporate tax that's going to be 9% on net income above 102,000 US dollars or 375,000 dirhams. Now, again, this is net income. Let's say your company makes 500,000 US dollars and you have 400,000 US dollars in expenses, while you're left with 100,000 US dollars, which is below that threshold. So there's no corporate tax to pay. And if you did go above that 102, so let's say to 103, then you only have to pay the 9% on that $1,000 you went above. So if that sounds interesting to you and you want to learn more about how you could relocate to Dubai and start paying a very low 9% corporate tax, and potentially zero if you're not above that threshold, and a 0% income tax, then book a call with us down below. We would be more than happy to have a discussion with you to show you exactly how we can set up your business in 1 week and get your residency in 1 week and set up your bank accounts in 1 week. The entire process should take no longer than 2 to 4 weeks. And if you want to learn more, we'll see you on that call down below.